Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our preview of the 2013 Liberty Bowl between the Mississippi State Bulldogs and the Rice Owls. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with Mississippi State. Now let's first start off with some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For Mississippi State, the biggest battle they're going to have to win on offense is between their outstanding wide receiver Jamion Lewis going against a talented cornerback Phillip Gaines. Gaines is one of the best cornerbacks in the country, and Lewis is going to have to win that battle more often than not. And they cannot allow Jordan Taylor a free release off the line of scrimmage. They have to make things difficult for that Rice passing game that wants to operate off timing. They want to operate off play action. If you slow down Jordan Taylor, if you take away their number one option, you can play successful pass defense. And react in the front seven, don't think out there. What you see right now from Mississippi State defensively is a lot of thinking on the field. You have to react. Make a mistake 100 miles an hour, and you'll be in better position the next time to make a play. So I say with more reaction and less thinking, they can do a great job in this game versus Rice. And for Rice in this ball game, it's all about staying aggressive versus the Bulldogs' passing attack with Dak Prescott back there at quarterback. Right now, their passing game is struggling. If they can make Mississippi State one-dimensional, they can win this ball game. And on offense, it's all about controlling the line of scrimmage. We know Rice wants to run the football on first down, second down, operate off play action on third and short. If they can control the line of scrimmage versus that talented defensive front of Mississippi State, they can also win this ball game. And the biggest question in the passing game, the biggest concern, or the biggest thing you're going to look for is Taylor McHarg's efficiency throwing the football. If he can be efficient, he doesn't have to be dynamic. He's done a great job all season long, 20 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. Rice has an excellent chance of moving the football up and down the field versus Mississippi State. The X factor for the Bulldogs, in my opinion, will be tailback Ladarius Perkins and how they utilize him in the passing game. He's great on screens. He's great in space. If they can get the football in his hands quickly on the perimeter, Perkins has the type of skills that can make one miss and take the distance. So I think that's how they can have some splash plays versus this Rice Owls defense. And the biggest X factor in this ball game for Rice will be the play of their defensive tackles. You look at both guys, Christian Covington and Ross Winship. They have to win inside and get that interior pressure, and that's how you really derail what Mississippi State wants to do offensively. Now here are some 2014 draft prospects you want to keep an eye on in this ball game. For Mississippi State, the guard Gabe Jackson, quite honestly, is the best guard in the country. 6'4", 335, does a great job on both ends of offense. And I really like what I see out of the Nico Autry, talented defensive end, 6'6", 265. We already spoke about Ladarius Perkins and his impact in space at 5'10", 195. And that's, even though Nicole Whitley is not going to play in this ball game, definitely a free safety prospect you want to keep an eye on moving forward. And for the Rice Owls, you look at cornerback Phillip Gaines, 6'1", 185, tremendous ball skills, long arms, exactly what you want out that cornerback position. And the powerful running back Charles Ross definitely has a future at the next level. And Jordan Taylor, he's a junior, but he has the height, 6'5", 210, and he also has the hands. Here's a guy that's fearless over the middle of the field and does a great job at high pointing the football. And quarterback Taylor McHarg may not be a quarterback at the next level, but definitely has the skill sets to make that move to H-back or as a wide receiver. This is a guy that definitely has an overall football talent that can be utilized in many different ways. The Tulane Green Wave capped off their perfect 12-0 season with the drubbing of BYU in the 1998 Liberty Bowl as quarterback Sean King led the way, throwing for 276 yards, rushing for 109 and 3 total touchdowns, en route to being named the game's MVP, knocking off BYU 41-27. And what was the Bulldogs' best season in program history? Head coach Alan McKean led his Bulldogs into battle versus the Georgetown Hoyas in the 1941 Orange Bowl. And the Hoyas were a well-balanced football team that threw the football very well, but State's defense wasn't allowing any of that as they limited the explosive Hoyas offense to only 7 points, winning the game 14-7 to finish the season 10-0-1. Facing one of the best players in college football in Byron Wizard White, the Rice Owls took on the Colorado Buffaloes in the 1938 Cotton Bowl. And White got off to a great start in the first quarter, throwing a touchdown pass, even returning an interception for a touchdown. But that'll be the only point scored by the Buffs that day, as the Owls, led by quarterback Ernie Lane, in his 2 touchdown passes and even chipped in with one on the ground, ripped off 28 unanswered points to stun Colorado 28-14 and held the Buffs to only 95 total yards of offense that day. Johnny Cooks was a tremendous linebacker for Mississippi State from 1978 to 1981. He lettered all 4 years in Starksville and finished his Bulldog career with over 370 tackles, and his best game was versus Auburn as a senior, where he had 24 tackles that day and was also named the MVP of the Hall of Fame Bowl. James "Froggy" Williams was an outstanding receiver for the Rice Owls from 1946 to 1949. Here's a guy that had tremendous size for his position at the time, was 6'2", 197, was a two-time All-Southwest Conference performer, and finished his career with 13 touchdowns and was also a consensus All-American. I like Rice in this ballgame. They've been playing solid football all season long, but if you saw the Conference USA Championship game and what this defense was able to do to the Marshall Thundering Herd, it leads me to believe that they will do the same to Mississippi State. So I think the Owls will come away the 2013 Liberty Bowl champions.